As we stand on the precipice of a new era, let us delve into the depths of Bharat's ancient history, a history that defies conventional timeline. While modern historians and archaeologists often trace India's historical roots back to around 500 BCE, a wealth of advanced research, drawing from archaeological, archaeo-astronomical, and literary evidence, challenges this narrative. Bharat's history is not a disjointed account. Instead, it is a continuous tapestry woven since the dawn of Holocene epoch. We, as proud Indians, refer to our history as itihAsa, a term derived from iti-ha-Asa, meaning thus-verily-happened. In this unique narrative, Vedic, Post-Vedic, itihAsa, and Purana texts serve as historical records in a different form than what modern conventions dictate. The definition of history as we know it today was introduced into India by colonial historians who cast doubts on our antiquity without concrete evidence. Long before their arrival, ancient sages meticulously documented chronological and genealogical history to impart wisdom to future generations. It is imperative that we embark on a scientific exploration of our deep-rooted chronological antiquity. Determining precisely when humans settled on the Indian subcontinent remains a challenge. The cataclysmic eruption of Toba volcano in Sumatra, Indonesia, approximately 75,000 years ago, left India devastated, with its human, plant, and animal populations drastically reduced. A thick layer of Toba's volcanic ash blanketed the land, and yet archaeological evidence at Jwalapuram site in Kurnool district indicates human habitation both before and after the Toba event. Only a handful of survivors, possibly in the hills of Kashmir and the Hindu Kush range, managed to endure. Over time, northwestern and northern India became habitable, and the Sapta Sindhu region, along with the Saraswati River, became the cradle of Vedic civilization. Archaeological findings of early agriculture along the banks of Lahuradeva Lake in eastern Uttar Pradesh have been carbon dated to a remarkable range from 13,000 BCE to 7,300 BCE. Submerged cities such as the one on the Gulf of Cambay were built and then engulfed by sea. Dwaravati, constructed by Vishwakarma around 11,100 BCE, submerged around 9,400 to 9,300 BCE, coinciding with the end of Meltwater Pulse 1b. Carbonized wooden samples from this submerged city have been dated to around 7,500 BCE, and similar discoveries abound, including the ancient Pompuha city in Tamil Nadu and the archaeological site of Birana in Hisar, dating to 7,570 BCE. Archaeoastronomical evidence places Brahma at approximately 14,500 BCE, as he introduced a 5-year Yuga calendar when the summer solstice coincided with Dhanishta Nakshatra. Around 1,000 years later, Vishwamitra observed the summer solstice at Sravana Nakshatra around 13,500 BCE, a phenomenon known as precession of equinoxes. This gradual shift in Earth's axis of rotation occurs in a cycle of about 26,000 years. Consequently, the equinoxes shift one nakshatra, or approximately 13.2 degrees westward every 960 years. Numerous references in post-Vedic literature indicate the winter solstice migration from Mrigashira to Rohini Nakshatra. The Vedic legend of Prajapati Daksha and his 27 daughters aligns with Mrigashiradi list of 28 nakshatras, signifying the beginning of Vaivasvata Manvantara around 11,200 BCE. Subsequently, the winter solstice moved to Rohini Nakshatra between 10,200 BCE and 9,200 BCE, followed by Kritika Nakshatra between 9,200 BCE and 8,200 BCE. The list of nakshatras reset once more, commencing the Ashwini Nakshatra when the winter solstice shifted to Ashwini around 7200 BCE. Taittiriya Brahmana suggests that during Abhijit or Vega's reign as pole star around 12,000 to 11,300 BCE, a significant conflict between Devas and Asuras occurred. This corresponds to star Kasyapa, also known as Gamma Draconis in Sisumara constellation, which remained at the celestial pole from around 11,000 BCE to 8,800 to 8,700 BCE. The Tamil Sangam literature informs us that Rishi Agastya convened the first Sangam around 11,200 BCE, marking the appearance of the star Canopus in the skies around 11,000 to 10,000 BCE. Kashmir Valley, once a glacial lake known as Satisar during the Rigvedic period, was formed during the Meltwater Pulse 1A from 12,700 to 11,500 BCE. Around 11,200 BCE, incessant rainfall likely triggered by an asteroid impact opened the Varahamula or Baramulla Pass, allowing the waters to flow out of Kashmir Valley and leading to devastating floods in Mathura, Sindh and Gujarat. This catastrophic event occurred during the reign of Vaivasvata Manu. The Vedic Saraswati River, originating near Badrinath, flowed initially to Pritudaka or Pehova in Haryana, before taking a southwestern course through Hisar, Sambhar Lake, Pushkar and Jodhpur, eventually reaching the Great Run of Kutch. However, due to a massive earthquake around 11,200 BCE, Saraswati changed course, now flowing westwards from Kurukshetra, Sirsa, Kalibanga and Anupgarh. Satluj, Yamuna and Drisadwati served as Saraswati's main tributaries. Satluj altered its course around 14,500 to 13,000 BCE. The OSL method, as employed by IIT Kanpur, dated the paleo channel of Satluj River to 13,000 BCE. Yamuna and Drisadwati, however, continued as tributaries to Saraswati River. Yamuna had two channels in Vedic period. One flowed westwards and merged with Saraswati, while other flowed eastwards and joined the Ganga River at Prayaga. It appears that at the Y1 paleo channel of Yamuna, a tributary of Saraswati changed its course around 11,200 BCE. The Avabrita ritual of Saraswati Satra in Yamuna might have been introduced to commemorate the earlier confluence of Saraswati and Yamuna. Oceanographic studies indicate that sea levels experienced a sudden rise of 28 meters in 500 years, approximately 10,900 to 9,500 years ago, known as Meltwater Pulse 1B. Dwaravati city in the Gulf of Campe, also known as the sunken ancient city, was submerged by sea around 9,400 to 9,300 BCE, marking the end of Meltwater Pulse 1B. The process of submergence likely took at least 1,500 years, placing the submergence of the piece of wood found in the Gulf of Khambat area around 8,000 to 7,500 BCE. Mayasura authored Surya Siddhanta at the end of Krita Yuga, when the sun, moon and all the 5 planets aligned in great conjunction in Aries or Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. Computer simulations confirm that the date of Surya Siddhanta is February 22nd, 6778 BCE, a Sunday, serving as a keystone of our Yuga chronology. In ancient India, a Yuga lasted only 5 years, but its duration, along with that of a Chatur Yuga, was increased from 5 to 1200 years, and from 20 to 4,800 years respectively in 6777 BCE. Later, the Chatur Yuga's duration was extended to 12,000 years to account for varying durations of 4 yugas. Subsequently, ancient Indian astronomers further extended the Chatur Yuga's duration to 43,20,000 years, 12,000 times 360 for precise calendrical calculations. Puranas, based on these updates, inadvertently presented the distorted account of history. In reality, before 6777 BCE, a yuga lasted only 5 years, and the epoch of early Vedic Yuga calendar likely commenced around 15,962 BCE. The introduction of 12-year Jovian cycle, the 60-year cycle, the 1200-year Yuga, and the 2700-year Saptarishi cycle in 6707 BCE significantly impacted Indian astronomy. The durations of Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga can be estimated as 6777 to 5577 BCE and 5577 to 3177 BCE respectively. According to tradition, Rama was born in the last century of Treta Yuga, placing Sri Rama's birth on February 3rd, 5674 BCE under the Punarvasu Nakshatra when Saturn was in exaltation. In the Ramayana, Lakshmana's description of a comet and planet in Mula Nakshatra as the Vanara army prepared to march towards Lanka offers verifiable astronomical evidence. Venus was situated in Mula Nakshatra from August 22nd to September 3rd, 5635 BCE, while Halley's comet also entered Mula Nakshatra on August 23rd, 5635 BCE. The comet had an apparent magnitude of 2.14 on August 23rd, 5635 BCE, visible to the naked eye after the sunset between August 23rd and September 23rd, 5635 BCE. According to studies on post-glacial sea level rise, Sri Lanka remained connected to India via a land route until at least 6200 BCE. The last pulse, meltwater pulse 1c, occurred around 6200 to 5600 BCE, raising sea levels by 6.5 meters in less than 140 years. Consequently, the area of Ramasetu was submerged during meltwater pulse 1c. Nala, it seems, raised the ground level up to 2 meters to construct Ramasetu. The sea level in some places between Dhanushkoti and Talaimanar must have been at least 14 meters below the current level. Thus, Ramayana era can be dated around 5677 to 5577 BCE. The Aihole inscription definitely establishes the date of Mahabharata war as 3162 BCE. In essence, the complexity of Indian chronology arises from misunderstandings surrounding ancient Indian eras. The Kurtakoti copper plate, dated in Saka 530, records a total solar eclipse on May 9th, 53 BCE in Karnataka. This conclusively establishes that the Saka era commenced in 583 BCE, while Sakanta era began in 78 CE. Historians inadvertently conflated these two epochs, leading to a chronological error of 660 years. Additionally, Jain historians mistakenly identified Ujjain king Chandragupta, a disciple of Bhadrabahu, with Maurya king Chandragupta, further muddling the chronology. In reality, Buddha attained nirvana 675 years before Mahavira, with Puranas and Burmese inscriptions pointing to Buddha's nirvana in 1864 BCE. Recent excavations at Lumbini and radiocarbon samples from Trench C5 at the Buddhist shrine at Lumbini support this, indicating an early date of 1681 BCE. Consequently, a chronological error of 1380 years exists in dating of Buddha's nirvana, stemming from the mixing of Saka and Sakanta eras and mistaken identity of Chandragupta. The entire research presented by Vedavir Arya has been encapsulated in 2 books, The Chronology of India from Manu to Mahabharata and The Chronology of India from Mahabharata to Medieval Era. Given the impact of adjusting Buddha's nirvana date on world chronology, the 3rd book, Origin of Christian Era, Fact or Fiction, explored the sheet anchors of Western chronology. This book argues against the epoch of 1 AD as the birth of Jesus Christ, a date introduced without independently verifiable evidence. Instead, it suggests the need to establish Western chronology up to Augustus without relying on Christian era's epoch. The research claims to have successfully solved the long-standing puzzle of dating Venus tablet, providing a comprehensive solution not only for India's chronological challenges but also for those in world history. In reality, the internal archaeo-astronomical data from ancient Indian literature and the marine archaeological site of Dwaravati in the Gulf of Cambay offer conclusive evidence that India's chronological history spans over 16,500 years, originating from the time of Rishi Brahma and his son Swayambhu Manu. This research not only re-establishes India's chronological history but also emphasizes that our nation is not only the most ancient continuous civilization with its roots reaching back to 14,500 BCE, but also the cradle of human civilization. It is imperative that we reclaim our illustrious past, for a nation detached from its history cannot create history.